Welcome to the B-Sides and Beers podcast.
Welcome to B-Sides and Beers, episode 88. Tonight we're talking Gordie Johnson and Big Sugar. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, man. I'm pumped for this one.
Excited.
It's been a long time.
Too long.
Yes. How many times have you guys seen Big Sugar?
Twice.
Two, yes.
Yeah. And I think you would probably all agree that this is the loudest show that you've ever been to in your life.
Definitely.
Easily, yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, three guys that have been to a lot of shows, and a lot of different experiences, and we've all agree that that's the loudest show that you've ever seen.
No discussion.
The craziness about it is it's always in a smallish venue as well. So to have that volume in an arena as opposed to that volume in a hall or a medium-sized club, it's just nuts.
Yeah.
Too many DBs.
Oh, and just the sound too in those concerts was just always so unbelievable. Like the bass just rumbled your guts like to no end. The high end was just like ear piercing. It was just, I don't know. The sound was always good, and like the sound was always good in the Shaw Conference, I thought too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that one was. We've talked about that show before. The Government Mule. One. Oh yeah. What's that?
There's the ticket. T's got the ticket.
Yeah. What is it?
You can't see
Is it
but
November
it's
14th,
government-
1998?
It is 1998. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
That's it right there. Yeah. Yeah, that was a great show. $20, man. 2070.
That was still a lot of money back then.
Wow.
Well,
and that
it
270.
wasn't 300 or
Tank of
600
gas.
Yep.
I mean, come on. I mean, I looked up, I showed it to Mike, Tools playing Kelowna. So I showed him the ticket prices, and what was like the top one that you could do?
1,050 or 1,090 or something for what did they call it? Invincible or what the fuck?
Be invincible for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And spend and be out $1,000. But like, and the cheapest seat was what, $260?
Yeah, there wasn't anything under 250.
Like just untouchable. It's not just because it's like Kelowna, it's a small venue. Like I looked on the other dates and it's equally as high. Anyways,
was it worth it?
Well, I didn't. I'm not going. I'm not.
Oh no.
Not
Okay.
No, I'm not. I can't do that.
I saw him for Lateralis. I'm good.
Like, and that's like a hotel and like a whole thing. I don't know. If the ticket was $100, maybe like it makes it a little bit more affordable. But it's just funny that it's $20.70 for that show, and it's just fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was an Uncle Dave show too.
Was it?
Yeah, I remember we were at the back at the beer gardens. He took us to the back, and then Big Sugar came on, and it was just like so loud, and we were like, we got to get to the front. We got to get going here.
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
The beer gardens were at the back, and we bumped into Dave.
Yeah. I don't think we knew
he
was gonna be even be there. I don't think.
Yeah.
So, but
yeah, that happens to me all the time with my family. It's bizarre, but like, I do remember it was an awesome show, and so that was for Brothers and Sisters supporting that album.
No, I think it was
The one
Heated.
before that.
Yep.
Right.
Heated. Yeah.
Right.
When did you guys get into them?
When did they start playing the first main album there?
Like Hemivision?
No, it would have been Hemivision. Yeah, for me it would have been Hemivision. So 96.
500 pounds for me, and that solo. Dun, 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 dun. It was that one. They played it on Much Music, and I was like, who are these guys?
Yeah. Yeah, my
So that was
93.
93.
I think
yeah.
so. Yeah, sounds about right.
And I'm right in the middle of both of you. My sister had the Dear Mr. Fantasy single, like the EP.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And she had that, and I was like, this is awesome. But there was no like picture of him or picture of Big Sugar on that album, so I didn't really know who they were until Hemi Vision, and then I went back to 500 Pounds after I listened to Hemi Vision. So, but that was kind of right in the middle of all that, 95. But yeah, and then I mean it got some serious play on Much Music, like most of these bands
Crazy.
we've talked about.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's got at 96. It's got time for Big Sugar, right there. Here they come now, a completely different animal at a Can Rock.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and I dare to say maybe the coolest Canadian band.
I would say so. I mean, they're the most original. When, you know, I was trying to think of how to introduce this project for the podcast, and it's like, okay, well, you can't really call them rock because they're more than that. You know, you've got the rock and the blues and the reggae. Like, who else put that together at that time?
Yeah.
In such a perfect way.
Well, and I don't know if you guys saw one of those videos that Gordie Johnson, he was talking about. I'm fast forwarding here a bit to turn the lights on the Heated record, right? But he said that you know, they were driving around. He was driving around Toronto one day, and that song came on the alternative rock station. He turned it over. It was on the classic rock station, and he said it was on the Flow in Toronto, which I looked up as the R&B and hip hop channel. So he's like, you know,
wow.
he's like, it crossed all these kind of borders, but there was a last edition to that album. He said that they gave him the entire Heated album to the record company, and they said it's good, but we want like another Dig in a Hole. And Gordie's like, he's like, I wasn't really on board with that. So he's like, Gary and I went to the basement, and we just, you know, we plunked out this thing in like a couple hours. And he's like, you know, we were thinking of all the reggae greats and what they'd be doing and what kind of that sounds like. And he's like, I want it to be the anti-Dig in a Hole. So he's like, we gave it to him, and he's like, they sat on it. He said it was the fourth single that was released from that album, and they were like ready to move on, and they were like, hey, like, what about this song that you guys made us do? And he's like, and now we can't not play that in a concert. He's like, there's hell to pay every time we don't play it. So, you know, it's just funny that like it's again another band that spans all of these genres where it's not grunge, it's not. Yes, it's rock at times. It's definitely blues. It's definitely reggae. Mm-hmm. It's got all of this together, and it's just it's the '90s in a band almost, right? It's like
totally, but not. Yeah, I mean, like their popularity did span throughout the entire '90s, and you can't really describe. Like when you first sort of asked the question, I was like, yeah, well, the Clash kind of got that vibe, you know, that kind of like. Almost like two-tone dubstep, whatever, with punk rock kind of mixed in. Yeah. But it's not that at all.
No. Yeah. No, it's like a Police thing too, right? Like a little bit of that, but not.
Heavy Police with slide guitar.
Close, but not really. You know, and I remember too, I opened up Heavy Vision, and I remember seeing, you know, Gordie Johnson is outfitted by Hugo Boss, and I was like, that is... awesome. I'm like,
you're a fan of Hugo Boss.
Well, I knew nothing about Hugo Boss until I like saw it in
the Clone,
you know, West Ed one time at like Harry Rosen, and I was like, whoa, like this is like, you know, $800 for a T-shirt. Like, okay, but like nobody had I ever seen at a rock star or anybody ever that was like sponsored by a like well-dressed, like, you know, kind of company. And I was like, that's kind of badass. I don't know. It's something different and Canadian.
No one else dressed to, totally. No one else dressed to the nines like he did.
No.
So
no. And be sponsored like that. That's fantastic. Guy from Winnipeg. I didn't even know I'll be honest, I didn't know he was from Winnipeg. I thought he was from Toronto. But
Yeah, me too.
But I was kind of floored by that.
What's his allegiance to Alberta then?
His parents live there, I think.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, his folks live there. Medicine Hat.
Medicine Hat, yeah. Because there's the cover of that EP, Mr. MF or whatever, Mr. Fantasy. And they've got like I think it's the front end of a Challenger and the big Alberta plate on it.
Yeah.
This is like hit and run. It's like slam to the ground. Looks so cool.
Yeah.
That's really, again, my love of the Charger too, like the Black Charger, like that, and like the Bullet movie, like those are the two. That's where I got introduced to it, and that picture right there alone was like, that is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At age 15, it's just it works. So, but then I mean, when Heavy Vision came out, I mean, and you go back, and I don't know if you guys watch those videos, like on like digging a hole and stuff, just some of those old Big Sugar videos, but everybody's so skinny and hair is slicked back and looking so slick.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
This is a good album, but this isn't my favorite Big Sugar album. I don't know what you guys think about this one.
Should we do a round robin?
Sure.
On favorite albums?
Sure. We can do that. Why don't you go for it, Dane?
Me?
Yeah.
No, go ahead. You were already on to
Oh,
something.
yeah.
There.
You know what? I mean, we've already talked about it. I think Heated is my favorite Big Sugar album. I listened to it again when I was camping here when we were kind of in between these times, and I went back to it, and I remember I listened to it a lot, but I like all of the non-released songs on this album. I flip past the scene and stuff, but like even the beginning, I love Where I Stand. I love that song. Like the bass line for that is so cool. And it just like, it sounds like you're kind of underwater too. And he's got like, Gary's doing his whole Jamaican thing. And you're like, this is just, and then the drums kick in and then, it's just so good. Right. But yeah, I don't know. I think this is my favorite album. It's got a little bit of everything. It's very polished though. I'll give you that. But, lots of blues, lots of, you got you got a cover song on here. It's pretty complete.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you guys?
Yeah. I'm going to completely agree with you as Heated is my number one. That's the one I've spent the most time with. It's one of those albums that I got stuck on for months when, back when you had that one CD that you just kept going back to. And yeah, it was daily. Over and over and over again. So
yeah, and can I just give a shout out to the sax solo on Girl Watcher because I love that.
Oh man!
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Yeah. Dane, what's yours?
Oh man, for up until today, I was like, I guess it's not new, but the what's Eternity Now.
Okay.
The 2020 release. That was the first one that I started listening to. I wanted to go top to bottom. And I got stuck on that album. It's really like, it's like mature.
Yes.
There's so much in there. And then it was nice to sort of like kind of go backwards a bit. And then I went all the way down to 500 pounds and then I kind of went back up again. And I was like, 500 pounds for sure. And then I think I settled on Brothers and Sisters because, I don't know, that was just, for me, that's when like he grew his hair long. He wasn't this like preppy blues guy. He was just like, I don't know. It was just such a great album.
Yeah, yeah, I like that.
And I think that's when he's, anyway, that one.
And that's got the "O Canada" on the end of it too, like
yeah.
Is Jimi Hendrix,
and I mean, I did not know that he did like some of these albums in French.
I know.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Like, I was kind of floored when I started going through this. I mean, and like, he's pretty good at it,
Shuffle block. Oh, yeah.
you know? But it's funny, like, I don't know why some of it, like, sometimes the chorus is in English, you know? So it's like, they sing like the whole thing, and then it's like, Je vois pas, better get used to it. And that's just, it doesn't really like flow, but
Disjointed.
other ones are. They do have it in there, but yeah, I mean, props to him for doing that. I mean, I would think that not everything would flow like it would for in English. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the same syllables. It doesn't really.
Yep.
I would think. I don't know.
That was all right. How much did you listen to in French? Did
Not
you get
much.
through whole song?
No, not much. Not much at all. But I mean, good.
It's kind of like watching hockey in French a little bit. You're just like, I get it,
Mute.
Yeah.
but I don't.
Yeah.
Mute.
Just turn it on mute. Just put it on mute. But you know, again, too, I think this is we've talked about, like, you know, kind of excellent musicians kind of coming together, and I think this is another band where you have just very skilled musicians on their instrument, kind of at their prime, and that's when we had a chance to see them, right? So I mean, between Mr. Chill on the sax and on the harmonica, and, you know, Gordie and Gary, it's pretty solid. So,
Yep.
And when you watch those old Big Sugar videos, the live videos with Gary, I just did like a whole kind of afternoon of just looking to see more information about Gary Lowe and just see if I could find more videos of him playing. And he's just an unbelievable player. Like, and
Yeah.
Yep.
as a, you know, as a non-bass, you know, guy, he's awesome. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't. I think of like more solid bass player, and like a guy that can lay it down like that and have such good feel and like groove. I'd pick that guy.
And stage presence. too.
Like,
Totally.
I want him. I want him in my band, my all-star band. He's out.
Yep.
He's there in his prime. So
Oh, man.
I don't
I
lie,
thought that
cheat.
today when
That's
we went
it.
to Walmart and there's a guy busking. I was like, I want to be the bass player that guy's been, because he was that good. Anyway.
wow, you don't usually say that or
could
see
be.
that. You know what
You
I mean?
easily
Like,
could be.
No.
Yeah.
You never like that. Busker was awesome.
Yeah, he was really good. Anyway, sorry. Didn't mean that.
Yeah.
Go grab your stuff and go
Yeah.
down there. It's an easy gig. You just join up.
Well, maybe I will. I'll let you know. I'll take a picture.
He ain't gonna kick you off the corner, or will he?
Where is he set up?
Right at the door. Right at the door of Walmart. Right at the entrance.
Wow, I don't think I've ever seen
It's
a
like,
busker there. Like in a Walmart.
There's like a little an inset, so it's got a little bit of like a reverb in there. It sounds really good.
Cool.
It's like a kind of a place where people smoke cigarettes, but instead this guy was just wailing.
Wow.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was really good.
Sweet.
Grady. Did you guys have listened to Grady and done that thoroughly? Hey,
man. Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That project was just a whole nother level for me.
yeah,
Just being, you know, always digging the whole Southern rock thing. It was a really cool turn. Yeah, just a nice change from what he was doing before. I mean, when he moves down to Austin and starts this, you know, Southern rock blues, heavy distorted slide guitar. It was killer.
yeah, and to take
Yeah.
like old Big Sugar songs too, and like
Yeah.
fast them up,
Yeah.
you know, and,
Yeah.
and dirty them up.
Yeah, I think it was 2007. Yeah, A Cup of Cold Poison was the one that I grabbed first.
Okay.
And yeah, it's unreal. That Cold Blood Chili, or what the hell is that song called?
Chili Cold Blood.
Yeah, you can't find it on streaming or anything. Like I actually had to dig out my CD to get that song.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
like it's tricky to find, and on YouTube, the only places I found is just a live version of. So,
Huh.
but yeah, killer album.
And is he still doing it?
He's not doing Grady as far as I know. Oh, wait a minute. No, I think he's just taking a break from Grady because they're doing the whole Big Sugar thing
yeah.
again for a bit, and he's on tour a bunch with Warren Haynes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Government Mule was good at that show. I thought those guys were.
Yeah.
great.
I bought their CD. And it was
Yeah,
and it was
too.
good. Like,
yeah,
I was impressed.
and the T-shirt. I bought the T-shirt too at that.
The Government Mule shirt.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just 18 years old and reckless with his money. Buying T-shirts.
Just don't care.
Yeah. I only got the one shirt though.
That's awesome.
Only paid $20 to get in.
Yeah. And I still have that shirt too. It's in a bin or a box or something in my
nice.
basement here. So
Nice.
Oh,
should
wow.
have dug that one
Yeah.
out. Anyway.
Yeah, the Government Mule had a single out too around that time, didn't they? Or at least something on Much Music.
I think so.
I don't know.
It was like, I remember they kind of like were on the popular radar for a little bit. But then like their album was Grammy nominated, and that was the one that Gordy produced.
I don't. Yeah.
Because he's been nominated for, yeah.
He did a Wide Mouth album there too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. On that live show that I was watching too, the Wide Mouth guitar player was playing in the back. And somebody like said it in the comments, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I went back and looked, and he's in the back playing. I don't know if anybody.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody knew he was there. But he was supposed to be there, but
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
he was playing there. But those guys are still going too, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That album was Dose.
Do-
That was a really good one. Yeah.
Dose.
The Wide Mouth Mason
That's-
album?
No, the Government Mule. That's
it.
the one they were touring.
Oh,
with,
gotcha.
Touring for. Yeah.
Blind Man in the Dark.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. Where else did you guys see him besides that show? What was the other one?
There was that and Double Trouble.
Sorry, say it again.
That was with the other Government Mule.
No, yeah.
or,
Besides that one, where else did you see him?
Double Trouble.
Yeah.
Double Trouble.
Gordy Johnson with Double Trouble.
Yes. Oh, yes.
There's
there
the
we
ticket
go.
right there.
July 11th,
yeah.
Got that one too.
2001, $24.85. Oh, that's an expensive one.
Yeah.
345.
That's the one where he would not go on stage. We waited so damn long for him to come on stage, and we figured because that he wanted to get the sound guy to turn it up louder or something.
Was that the issue?
I think it was. No, turn it up some more. I ain't going on stage and you turn it
God,
up more.
that show was loud. That was probably the single loudest show. Like, I think
Yeah.
if I had to pick one out of all of them, that would be it. And I was not prepared
remember-
for it at all.
So they opened for Double Trouble, or was it vice versa?
He was fronting Double Trouble.
Oh,
So it
was
Gordy
he?
Johnson. He was fronting.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so he was doing vocals and guitar, and Double Trouble's bass and drums. So
Holy shit. Okay, you want to know my memory from that show?
yes,
I think we snuck backstage somehow, and he was in the back alley smoking a cigarette with white gloves on. Do you remember that?
They were the black leather gloves. They were black.
Okay, in my memory, they were white gloves.
No, they were black. I just remember, and he was smoking like the long, like cigarillo, like,
Yeah.
and what year was that again? 2001.
2001, and we're
2001.
like, it's July, and he's wearing gloves.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, just got driving.
Yep.
He's got his driving gloves on. That's why.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't even remember what we
show
talked
was
about to him. I don't even remember what we were discussing.
I don't know. We were just like, you're Gordy Johnson. And he was like, yeah.
That's it.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, no. I saw him at the what's it called there on the highway out of Edmonton. It was right before I left Edmonton. It's this casino and oddly enough a strip club too. But they played there. It's like sorry guys, I forget. It's like Golden. It's not Golden Garter. It's like Double Diamond, something like that. It's right on Highway 2, like coming into town. But they played there, like
cash.
Blackjack Club or something like that. And it was actually like a really small venue, but it was so good, so good. And
wow.
yeah, and Gary Lowe was playing with them still. And I don't know what year that was. That probably would have been like 2015, 2016, something like that. I saw him just on the way out.
Yeah, I think probably 2015.
Right before I left, I saw them. But yeah, no, they were good then too. So, but he's doing it now like with a power trio. Hey, he's like reimagined Big Sugar as a power trio, and it's just kind of like these awesome studio guys that play with probably everybody.
Okay, so then because the album, Eternity Now, I keep forgetting that the 2021.
Yep.
It sounds massive. Like there's also saxophone in it. There's definitely keyboards. So they're just doing new material, I'm assuming.
Well, they've got to have some of the hits or
They just got Buddy on
that's
the
just what people want.
Yep.
the pedal bass and the boards, and
It's just
doing it all.
it's just like he's just playing bass. He's just a guy on bass, guy on drums, and GORDIE. That's it now. That's
Oh, wow.
that's what they're touring with, and they're touring the like heated 20th anniversary. Does that sound right?
Oh yeah.
25th anniversary, something like that. Tour.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. Wow.
yeah, and it's got some pretty cool vinyl too. If you guys have been see that too, there's like some neat merchandise that he's got. 25th anniversary. That's it. 25th. That's we were talking about 30 years since In Utero and 25 years since Heated. So
Yeah.
I still can't believe that 30 years.
Stupid.
Yeah.
it is stupid.
That album was
The time that's gone by, stupid,
so fast,
so old.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
but
This was-
it aged. It ages like well, right? Because
Yeah,
when you go
I
back,
think
Oh,
so.
totally,
20,
Yeah.
totally.
This was one of the bands that kind of got me over the grunge hump, I think. Now that we're talking about it, it was like, so 13, whatever. You're probably, so I guess that's right at the end of Nirvana. I think all the bad stuff happens in about a year, 94. And then after that, it was like a lot of stuff that wasn't grungy because we were talking about the Tea Party
Yeah.
last episode.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Last episode.
Yeah.
And that was another one of those bands that just kind of took us out of that grunge era. And they're like, I think keyboards are okay.
And then Prodigy, and then
Yeah. Like 1998, when you think about like, there was a lot of garbage then. Like it was just like
Oh, yeah.
a lot of Hanson swirling around and like that.
but also garbage.
The band.
Debut album, wasn't it 98,
I think
97?
so. Yeah, pretty close.
97. Yeah.
But like there was all those like power pop bands that were coming out then too. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. But, okay, sorry. Can we hold it there for a second? Because you mentioned garbage, and I had no idea that Butch Vig was in Garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And what an amazing, talented individual. I never liked the band Garbage. And so my theory is that there's a lot of like late 90s, early 2000s stuff, which is not to our taste. But I guarantee you it's full of talented people.
Oh, unreal. And going back to them now, being the age that a lot of these people were when they created these albums.
Yeah.
Because we talked about that before, where it's like these great albums that we didn't quite get at the time, but it's because it wasn't meant for an 18-year-old or a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old. It was meant for a 20 or 30-year-old.
Yeah.
So now that you age into that space, you get it. And it's awesome again.
Yeah, for sure. Or it even hits harder too. Like that's you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like we even talked about going way back to like Super Unknown, and like when we went back to those lyrics, we were like, oh, like this is now I get it. You know what I mean? It was just like I didn't know anything back then, so you know I don't know anything now, but like I know a little bit more. You know, so
Yeah, totally.
but yeah, no, interesting to like to get us out of the hump, like over the hump of grunge, because that's kind of what that is, right? It's like that Passover time between and during this time, 1998, right? Between all that stuff,
Yeah.
you know, before we got to the next stuff. But I'm just looking back at 1998, and I'm like, I'm looking at the top hits from 98, and it's like, you know, 1 week, Bare Naked Ladies, Shania Twain, Goo Goo Dolls,
It's been
Fastball,
it's been
Fastball,
Yeah.
Third Eye Blind,
Right.
Yeah.
Train, you know,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Generic radio
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, it's funny. I
Yeah.
set Penelope up on her own Spotify account this week, and it says like
Yep.
right at the beginning when you set up the Spotify account, it says like, who do you like? What's your top 3 picks or whatever, right? So like the choices they give you, I'm like, I don't know, like Taylor Swift, Megan Trainor, and Metallica. I'm like, that's the ones that are on the front page. So then she like comes to me and she's like, Dad, like somebody like Spotify thinks that like I like Metallica and like that I like Megan Trainor and all this stuff, and I'm like, oh really? I didn't know what I was gonna do. She's like, yeah, there's like a playlist and they keep pushing these like songs by them, and I'm like, oh sorry,
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
I've already messed up your algorithm. Just effed it from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I got just this last week, we dug out an old boombox, just CD cassette thing that we had in the crawl space area, and Zach wanted it, and so now he has on CD because he keeps asking for CDs. So he's got Zeppelin 1. I just gave him Black Album. I gave him the first Black Sabbath, and Rammstein, Sehnsucht. He's
Whoa.
and Van Halen Balance. And Van Halen Balance. So I go, he's 7. I go downstairs after I get Logan to bed, and I come down and he's just playing his shit.
Wow.
And it's awesome. He puts it on himself and he loves it and he's rocking out, and yeah.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
That's got to be fun though, especially
It's
if you've
awesome,
never
man.
seen that stuff before.
Oh man, it's mind blowing for him. He loves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like, don't scratch it. You have to blow the dust off it before you put it.
He knows how to grab it.
Yeah.
He knows how to do the side and the center. That's what he does.
Yeah. Fantastic.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
so
it's
much
pretty
fun.
rad.
Do you have the technology to actually burn discs?
I have an older Mac that can. Yes. This one doesn't have a drive
Nah, this
that
one
I
doesn't.
have now, but I've got one from like 2009 that still has a burner in it. So
Yeah, that was the ultimate. If you had the burner drive in there.
make your own. Make
Yeah,
your own.
take it out of your tower and put it in your burner drive.
It's funny because the stuff that we usually talk about, someone had the album. Like, even though we were able to sort of like, I guess it was LimeWire around this time, or
Yep.
Yeah.
what else? We all had the ability to just like burn a
Napster
disc
and
of
LimeWire,
all
yeah.
this stuff. But like, at least one of us had, not most of these albums, but like most of the stuff that we talk about.
For sure.
Just looking at the album art, it takes me back, especially with Heated.
Yeah. It's funny when you go back to those albums, hey, like if you still have it, like there's some of those ones that I
Yeah.
still kept, right? Like I did get rid of some, but like when you go back to that and you kind of forget, you know, I even think of like Faith No More when we did Faith No More, right? And I was like, I had Angel Dust
Yep.
in there. I was like, oh yeah, cool. Like I looked back and then I flipped over the back and I was like, I forgot about the back cover of that album, right? And I was just like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I Forgot about this picture. Yeah, it just like, it just takes you back, and then you think about like the CD, right? And I'm pretty sure like the Hemi Vision was like the steering wheel, right? I think that's what that was. And my heated one was just like all orange, like a just orange disc, right? And yeah, it's just funny how you remember those things about that.
Oh yeah.
On wasn't it Hemi Vision that you could open up into a poster?
Yeah.
Of the
yeah.
Hemi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
For sure. Yeah, no, it's just that it's we talk about it, but it's awesome that he's doing that, because it's a whole thing, right? To go through that CD and do
No
it.
kidding.
He loves it.
And actually read the lyrics if they're like in there. Do you have like a CD stand for him, or like how does he store the CDs?
Not yet. So like I said, he's only got a handful of them, but I had to. Well, I have them all in CD binders, but because I got rid of all the plastic cases years ago.
Okay.
But I kept all the inserts and the paper and the books, and so I still have to dig those out for him. But just like I said, this last week he's wanted this and this and this, and then I pulled out the binders, and his mind just went poof, and he's flipping through everything, and he just like, oh, what's this? What's this? And yeah. Can I have Guns N' Roses? Because I bought him a Guns N' Roses t-shirt. Can I have Guns N' Roses? You're a little too little for that. Just wait a couple of years.
Man.
Like there's certain things that, he could probably listen to, but he's not really gonna. He's not there yet.
Speaking of Guns N' Roses, did you guys hear that new track?
No.
Oh my!
What's it like?
Oh, it sounds like well, you can imagine what it sounds like. It sounds like an outtake from. Yep. Yeah, it goes a little bit like that, but you got to plunk it in the honky tonk piano in there, because it's heavy.
Yes,
it's heavy in there. So yeah, it sounds like a reject from Use Your Illusions 2. That's what it sounds like.
Guaranteed it.
It came across my release.
They didn't write a new song.
No, just that's a good one. Done. It came on my release radar a couple weeks ago, and I was like, "No way! This is a new track. Like this is, I forget what it's called, but it just you can listen to it if you want to."
Done and dusted.
Perhaps that's what it's called, and it's got like a magic 8-ball, and it's like it's flipped around, and it just says "perhaps" on it.
Oh man,
GNR.
It's funny because, like, as a kid, I thought they were so cool. And now that I'm, like, talking about what we were talking about earlier, now that I'm a bit older,
Yep.
I mean, they're still pretty cool, but not as cool as I thought they were when I was 10 years old.
Well,
or whatever,
totally
12.
different when they're like in their early 20s and not when they're fat and old. That's not
man.
87, different world. 1991, different world.
Right.
Now, fat and old.
Yeah.
Except for
That's what the album should be called.
Fat and old. Yeah. Well, except for Duff, he's.
Well, that's just because he can't drink. That's why he doesn't put any pounds on, because he can't.
And
Right. Can't.
he took all his drug addictions, and put it into martial arts and weight.
Bass playing.
Yeah. So.
Getting better at my craft.
Yeah.
Back up singing.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Well, I'm sure he's on this track. I'm sure he's singing back up on this track. It might be one of those ones where I didn't even know it was him singing, right? One of those, like, Axel's not even singing on this song? What? That's singing on half this album. Yeah. It's, at least they're not playing the casino circuit yet, right? Like, it's kind of like, it's close, though.
You think so?
Well, I mean, these guys are, all these heritage acts are coming around looking for a payout now, and it's just like, why are they coming out with a track? Do they really need a track to do this? Does Slash really need to do this? Probably not.
They're still selling out giant venues, and the amount of merch when we went and saw them in that last round, where you could buy a $1,000 leather jacket, and there's 40 different shirts, anything that you can think of merchandise wise, they had it there, and there was lineups at every booth, and they sold out everything everywhere they went.
Yeah, it was funny. Those
You know,
the
when-
booths set up outside of the show. So like guys were walking by with the leather jacket before the show even happened. It was like, I was there, man. I was there.
I bought it outside. I don't have tickets to the show, but I bought the.
I was outside the
jacket.
stadium.
Yeah, I got the T-shirt. It says I was there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, right? Like, I don't know. It feels like some of these guys, it's a little sad, but you don't need to do it.
They're getting the money though, man. They're getting millions.
Did they sell their catalog?
Making up for lost time. I don't know. I haven't read that
I wonder
part.
if they
no.
have.
Well, Axl Rose is super duper rich, so I'm assuming they did.
Yeah.
Well, Axel's making the most out of those tours, so it was in the contract that he makes more than anyone else, or I don't do it.
That's cool. What a jerk.
Yeah.
How to create animosity within the band.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's good.
I'll
at
take
that.
more of that.
Okay, I've got some for you guys. So
Okay.
I have queued up here
Yes.
a song, and I want you to tell me which one is Big Sugar. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, did you hear that?
No.
No. It worked. It worked quite a bit louder before, but it's not working now.
Hold on, let's try that again.
Suspense is killing me.
I'm gonna give it away. Hold on. Okay, I'll try this one more time. Let's put this back. You tell me which one is Big Sugar.
Maybe it's fantasy.
Okay.
It's quiet, but I got the chord changes.
Can't hear that one.
Who's doing the copy?
Okay. Did you hear both?
Snippet. I could hear the chord changes, and I can tell the chord changes were bang on.
Okay, I'll do one more time. I think I got the mic right up here. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. This is A. Okay. Here's B.
It's not.
Which one is Big Sugar and which one is another very famous band?
I don't know. What's the?
A or B?
Which came first?
Okay, so I've got Change by Blind Melon, 1992.
Really?
Yeah, and then I've got Dear Mr. Fantasy, 2003. But it's on, oh, sorry, that's Hit and Run. Sorry. When did Dear Mr. Fantasy come out?
I'll listen to that right now. It's right at the beginning of that.
I'll edit those in
Okay.
afterwards.
Yeah, just give it a listen and I'll figure out when Dear Mr. Fantasy came out. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Pretty, it's like 90%.
Wow.
Okay, and Dear MF, Dear Mr. Fantasy came out in 1995.
Rip off.
But then, I mean, then the songs get different.
Yeah, totally.
But like the very beginning.
What's the very what's the start of the original sound like? Like
The original?
yeah, like the traffic song. It's because that's a cover. That's like a cover from the '60s. It's the
Oh,
There's a band called Traffic that did it.
Okay.
It's close. It's not the same. You guys have heard this song, the original, for sure.
Yeah. I'll edit
Yeah.
this in for the listeners here, and I'll just put
Yeah,
it over this spot.
okay.
But
It's almost like a rip off of Traffic.
I think it is. I think Blind Melon ripped off Traffic.
1967.
It's really close,
yeah.
but not as close as the Blind Melon and Big
No,
Sugar.
I know for sure. That's
I
very
heard
close.
it. I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
How did they do this?
There's another band to do
Crazy.
an episode on too, Blind Melon. That would be a fun one to do
Yep.
too,
Yeah.
actually.
Put it on the list.
We got off a track on Big Sugar, but
A little bit.
Oh, sorry.
no, that's all right.
Let's yeah.
It's all right. I think it was a spin off on all the rest of the stuff that we need to talk about too on that. Had to happen. But again, another good pick. Because
Yep.
it's another, again, band that I kind of forgot how much I listened to
Yeah.
back then, and a pretty influential one. And like I said, I think the coolest Canadian band that ever was. I can't think of another one.
And that is nope. And it's still killer
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. I don't know. I
there's not a
challenge you. I
point.
challenge you to think of a cooler
Yep.
Canadian band. I was like, okay, Tragically Hip, they're cool, but like they're like more Canadiana. They're
not-
not like, you know. Well,
They're not Gordie Johnson
yeah,
cool.
like Rush.
No.
Rush
yeah.
was cool,
Still.
but like in not the same way.
Influential. but
I don't
not
know.
Gordie
I'm
Johnson.
thinking of other ones. I just can't place it.
It comes down to Gordie Johnson and going back to talking about how he got these amazing players when he started. Finding there was a story that I found where he was talking about how he found these musicians that were playing for other bands, and they were all frustrated and pissed off because nobody was making any money. And he finds these guys. He's like, okay, you leave your band, you come with me. I'll make sure you get paid. And every gig they played after that, the band got paid before Gordie did. He made sure that everyone got paid before he did. Now that is a solid cat.
No kidding.
Like,
Yep.
there's another thing to add to the coolest MF on,
Yeah, for sure. It's awesome. You see him now. He's like, he's got the mohawk. He's down in Texas. He's, slinging
He's doing
Gibsons
what he wants
and
when he wants.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
Just like
in that studio that looks so cool.
yeah.
Yeah. The sound check.
I love that video too he did in 2020. Like it must have been pandemic that he did Ride Like Hell, but he played all the parts on it. Just the three
Yep.
screen there, and it's funny watching him on drums
there's
too.
some great stuff.
He's good, but he's just, you can tell guitar's his instrument.
Yeah. and just the passion behind it, and the unique the unique guitar rig too. I mean, who else uses Garnet Herzog? Nobody other than the Guess Who.
Another iconic Canadian band.
That's it. And that's his. Well, both Winnipeg. The Garnet amps were Winnipeg. So, but it's that iconic fuzzy tone that no one else uses. As soon as you hear that, it's either American Woman or Gordie Johnson.
Right.
That's it. So
Yeah, and really, when you think about when kind of reflect on the tone on all of these albums, really, they're quite different, but like so cool in their own individual album. You know what I mean? Like you think of the sound of the guitar on 500 Pounds, the sound of guitar on Heavy Vision, but then on Heated, it's a totally different animal on there, right? But it works.
Yep. Yep.
It works. Who produced that album? Heated, do you know?
He did.
Did he?
Probably he
I
did.
think so.
Yeah, I did. I usually look that up, but I didn't check that out. It's probably like Bob Rock or something like that.
No, I
Wasn't
honestly
making
think he did.
Bob Rock money.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, it produced by him. Yep. Yeah, who produced Hemi Vision? Gordie Johnson. Ride Like Hell?
Yep.
Gordie Johnson. All of these. 500 Pounds?
Yep.
Gordie Johnson.
The Canadian Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Does it all, man.
I always
Writes,
think
records,
that, like,
produces.
Jeff Martin and Gordie
Jeff
Johnson
Martin, yeah.
are like arch enemies, and like Jeff Martin is like the Dave Mustaine to like Gordie Johnson, who's like
Totally.
Oh man.
Well, I got a Grammy nominee. You got a. I almost played at the what festival?
I almost opened for the Rolling Stones.
awesome.
Oh yeah,
Almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
but I didn't want to.
Didn't want to do it that day. Didn't feel like it.
Nominated.
Grammy nominated. So close.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it's the Gibson. It's the double neck Gibson that just is like,
Yep. Yep.
screw you, man.
Yeah.
I play it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they did that dub thing too, the Alkaline.
So good.
Yeah, that was good too. Hey, that was I kind of didn't know about that, but that went underneath the radar for me in the year 2000.
Is it an actual Big Sugar album? Because it doesn't say Big Sugar on the album cover.
No, it's just like
I thought it was
a side project.
right.
Yeah. With Whitney Dawn is the singer on that album, a reggae singer. So yeah, I wouldn't slip past me, because then I was very much on for Brothers and Sisters Are You Ready? So I had that album too, so I must have missed something along the way. But
Yeah.
there's so much back then, so much that's coming out, right, and all that kind of stuff. That
Yeah.
it was even like that Jellystone that I sent you, Mike. I totally forgot about that guy. I'm like, or didn't even know about that guy. I'm like, Jellystone.
Money can't buy
The
me
country guy?
happiness,
No, he's a
but money
rapper
can't
from
buy me
like
happiness.
Canada in like the
But I'm
2001.
happiest when I can buy when I want, anytime that I want, get high when I
Yeah.
want.
I have to check this out.
I should say it
It's
to
a
you
good
too.
album,
I
man.
listened to it this summer. I was like, I heard it and I was like, who is this guy? And then I looked it up and I asked Mike, I'm like, did you ever listen to this guy? And then he's like, no. And then he heard the like his hit. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember this guy. So yeah, but like like his whole album kind of, it's decent. Like
It's good, man. All the MCs on it are solid.
it's
for
not
the
bad.
time.
Like I think it's like 2001, and he's like straight out of Toronto or something.
Yep.
But it's decent. Just some of those guys you miss
Straight out of T-Dot.
along the way.
Right?
Yep.
Yep.
Well, maybe we'll have to do an episode on Jellystone.
Jellystone. I don't know how much material is there on that one, but
Well, there's 2013, 2017.
oh, he had more.
It'll be a blip.
Yeah.
We'll roll it into a Maestro Fresh West episode.
Yes,
Oh, Canadian hip hop. Yeah, that's a good one.
yes. Canadian hip hop at its finest. We'll get who else in there?
Swollen members.
BLT
Members,
from
what's the
Degrassi.
Rascals? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Classified.
Classified.
Yep.
Absolutely. Who
Drake.
else? Cardinal Official.
A little bit of Drake.
yeah.
Cardinal
Hey,
Official.
did you guys watch the New Year's Eve thing?
Yes. Yeah.
No.
Last year, they got him singing throughout the whole thing. The whole thing. He rapped like 3 separate songs 3 separate
I
times.
saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cardinal.
And
Yeah, no, that's we listed quite a few there already. Maybe we should do an episode on that. There's more than we think.
I think we should.
Yeah.
Coming up next.
I don't have a sexy ending for this. Bring this into the hangar, but
Gordie Johnson.
we love
Thank you. Thank you. Keep doing it.
And
all right, we want you guys to subscribe, share, and review this podcast. Keep it going, keep it strong, because we're having a great time entertaining you guys with B-Sides and Beers podcast.